Hey, what's up, everyone? Hope you're doing well. Want to say thank you so much for stopping by the channel. If you can, when you get a chance, look at the bottom of the screen there. There's a little subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. And if you can, give us a like on the video. Leave us a comment if you like the information you're getting. Share this with your friends. Share this with your coworkers. Share this with your family members, your kids, anybody you can. I try to keep this as clean as possible. Obviously, provide as much value as possible so you can share this with all different age groups. If this is valuable information, share it so that way the channel can keep growing. I'm doing my best to bring as much value on every single video and just get better and better and better so we can help out any people that are looking for help or anybody that's looking for some information and some videos that can help them to have a better mentality, feel better about themselves, look at things a little different. The things we're going to talk about today is based off of what I heard at church on Sunday. There was a message on Sunday talking about, going to heaven, right? And when he's talking about going to heaven, one of the things that he talked about was the idea of you have to be doing all the right things. So when the time comes that you pass away, you can go to heaven and you can position yourself to go to heaven. And those things are obviously depending on what your faith is, right? It could be being a good person that's very religious, going to church, studying your religion. It could be taking your kids to church, right? Providing the environment for your kids to be in an environment where they also have a religious foundation. You doing good to humans, doing good to others, being a good person, providing value to others by being a good individual, by serving God's people, let's say, right? All those different things are things that position you, which is what we heard at church on Sunday, that position you to be able to go to heaven. And one of the things as I was listening to this talk, which is something that I want to talk about because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people in the same situation we are in. One of the things that was going through my mind as he's talking, I was very emotional, very serious as he's talking about this message because as he's talking, I'm thinking about Jeremy, our oldest, which passed away unexpectedly. Obviously, right? He was shot and killed, so it was a traumatic death. And he was only 25 years old. One of the mistakes we made was we had very little religious presence in our home, right? We had very little foundation in that area at that time. That was a mistake that we made. All right. I'll take responsibility for that. And that's one of the things that I looked at as I listened to him. As I'm thinking, I'm like, man, he passed away at 25, no religious foundation, and there is a heaven and hell, right? We believe that if you believe in God and believe in heaven and hell, let's say. But you also got to think and say, well, he was only 25. This is a traumatic death, right? What happens in that situation? And one of the things that I did was after church, I asked him, I told him, hey, look, I was pretty shook up. You can say that, right? I mean, obviously, not feeling good at the moment because it's a conversation that you think about, right? I think about where's Jeremy now, right? Where is he? What is he doing? Is he here with us? Is he moving in the progression of where he needs to go? Does God have him where he's supposed to be? We don't know, though. Those are answers that we'll never get, right? One of the things you hear in church is they say the mystery of faith. And every time I hear that, it's such a powerful sentence, the mystery of faith, because the mystery of faith is something that we'll never see. Faith is something that's not known. You can't see it, you can't touch it. It's just something that you believe out of something that you can't tangibly feel or touch or see. It doesn't exist in the real here, but you can feel it in your heart if you got faith, but you can't touch it and you can't see it. So as I asked him this question, he kind of gave me an answer saying, that God is all present. God knows all, right? And obviously, those are all answers that we believe are true, right? If you have faith, you believe they're true. But at the end of the day, you still have a feeling of where is the person, right? Where is the individual when they pass away? What happens in those instances? And obviously our hope and our faith is that they move in the right direction, that they're moving towards where they need to go. And that's something that I share with you because just like I have those feelings, I'm pretty sure there's people that have the same obstacles as we do as a family. If you've lost a family member prematurely, you think to yourself about that loved one, right? Is that person struggling right now? What are their emotions? Are they hurting just like we're hurting, right? Are they feeling the same emotions that we feel? Or are they in a different place where they're doing much better right now, where they're actually feeling much better about themselves, right? And maybe we're the ones that are beating ourselves up, but that person's doing much better right now. And those are answers that we won't get. I wish there was a way that we can have that connection. I would love to have just one conversation with him, just to ask him, number one, how are you, right? How are you doing? And number two is, what can I do for you? I wish there was a chance we could do that, but the reality is there's not. There's no real connection to do that. And it's an answer that we'll never get, right? But it's something that we got to have faith. It's like I said, the mystery of faith is so important, because you got to have faith that things are happening just the way they're supposed to happen. For that person that passed away in our situation, it's Jeremy. Things are happening exactly how they're supposed to happen for him. Things are happening for exactly how they're supposed to happen for us. And we have to have faith that things are going to work out exactly the way they're supposed to work out, no matter how we feel, right? Lots of times we got to remove emotions out of this, and we got to put ourselves in perspective of faith, a foundation of thinking about all the possibilities, all the great things, all the opportunities that are out there for to have things progress in the area in the direction that they're supposed to go, instead of looking at the negatives. That's really what we have when we really express faith in those areas. But it was something that I had on my mind. I wanted to share that just in case there's somebody dealing with grief, somebody dealing with the same challenge as we are with the loss of a loved one, whether it's tragic or natural progression of life. It's still painful at the end of the day. It doesn't remove anything just because one's different than the other. But I hope this brings some value to someone. Emotionally, if you're dealing with some challenges there, feel free to leave us a comment here, right? Give us a like on this video, subscribe, share this with others. And I really appreciate you taking the time to listen in. And I hope that you guys keep listening and sharing. And I'll keep providing content. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it.